People, in this video we will understand what is nesting of for loop means, okay, or why do we need nested for loop. Okay, so let's start. So in the previous video we have already discussed that what is nesting means, okay, or nesting of loops means. So nesting means when one loop is contained inside the another loop, right? So we saw the example of the nesting of while loop in our previous video. Okay, so here you can see this is one while loop and this is another while loop. So this while loop is called as inner while loop, right? And this particular while loop which is starting here, okay, the body is starting at this point and the body ends here, okay, for this while loop. So this while loop is called as outer while loop. Okay, so this inner while loop is contained or nested inside this bigger outer while loop. Okay, so this is nesting of while loop. Same way nesting of for loop also works. Okay, so here you can see this is one for loop and this is another for loop which starts here and ends here, right? So this particular while loop is this particular for loop is called as inner for loop. Okay, and this inner for loop is contained inside the body of this bigger for loop, and this basically for loop can be called as outer for loop. Okay, because this particular for loop is contained inside this for loop. Okay, so that's why we are saying this is inner for loop and this is outer for loop. Okay, so we can say this for loop is nested, is contained inside this outer for loop. Okay, so this means that in this way we can do the nesting of for loop also. Okay, same way we can do the nesting of do while loop. Okay, one do while loop is there. Okay, do while something like that. Okay, and then this do while loop is contained inside a bigger do while loop. Okay, same way. Or we can also do the nesting of different loops also. For example, let's say we have this while loop. Okay, while loop, and then here it is expression, and inside this we can put, let's say, for loop also. Okay, for loop with all its syntax, right? So this for loop is contained inside this while loop. Then also we can say we have nested the different loops. Okay, so nested simply means one loop is contained inside the another loop. Now, before going to understand with the help of example that what is the need of the nested for loop, here you can see that this is one for loop, right? And this is the block of statements for this for loop, or you can say this is the body of this for loop, right? So this for loop starts here and ends here. Okay, the body ends here. Now this block of statements, these block of statements are for this particular for loop. Okay, so this for loop starts here and ends here. Now, how this nested for loop will work? Same way as we have seen for the while loop, same way it will work for the for loop also. For example, our control, let's say, comes from here. Okay, then whatever statements are here, they will be executed. Then when we come to the for loop, first initialization will happen. Okay, then this condition will be checked. Okay, whether it is true or false. Okay, second time this will be tested. So if it is true, we will go inside, and then whatever statements are here, they will be like executed. Okay, and then we will come to this for loop, and here it will work in its same manner. Like first this initialization will happen. Okay, then this condition will be tested. Okay, and if this condition is true, again we will execute these statements. Okay, whatever is written here. Okay, then again we come here and we will do the updation. Updation can be increment, decrement. Okay, it can be like updation of the control variable. Okay, or updation of the variable. Okay, it does not mean that only plus plus or minus minus, pre increment, post increment can happen here. It can be anything. Okay, which is updating the value of the variable. Okay, which is like helping us to control this expression. Okay, or this condition. Now after this increment, decrement, or updation, we will again come here and we will check this condition. If it is again true, we will come here. Okay, we will execute it. Then again we will go here. Okay, then again we will check the condition. If it is false now, okay, then we'll come out of this for loop and we will execute this statement. Okay, and then let's say I can term it as 7. Okay, and after executing this statement, we will again go back here. Okay, because this is the body of the outer for loop. Okay, we'll go here, and now you can see that this is, you can say, one simple body of this particular for loop. Okay, the body of this particular for loop is like from here to like all this, everything. This everything is body of the bigger for loop. Okay, so after this body execution, we will again go to updation, and then here we will do the updation, and then here we will test the condition. If it is true, again we will do the same thing. But we will do the same thing. After this, we will again come to this for loop as a fresh start, and we will again do the initialization. We will again check the condition. If it is true, again we will execute this statement, and so on, so on, so on. Right? So this is important that after this 9th step, after this condition is again true, we will come here and we will again fresh start this for loop. Okay, we will again do the initialization, and that after doing everything, when this is false, we will come to this block statements, and after that again we will go here updation, and we will come here, and let's say now this condition is false, test expression false, we will leave the body of this outer for loop. Okay, that means we will come here and we will start from here. Okay, so now let's see how we can use this nested for loop, or what is the need of this nested for loop. Okay, with the help of example. So let's say you have to print this one star. Okay, this is one character. Okay, this star or asterisk. Okay, then how we can print? So simple, we can just do printf, and then in double quotes we can say, okay, this is star, right? Okay, now if I say, okay, on the computer screen, okay, you have to not print only one star, you have to print, you can say let's say this 4 stars, right? Then how you will print this 4 star? Okay, one way is you will write printf 4 times. Okay, but I do not need that thing. Okay, and you have also understood the concept of the loops also. Okay, because this star is one task, printing this star is one task. Okay, and you have to repeat this task of printing this one star. Okay, you have to repeat this printing of this star how many times? 4 times. So now you will say I can use the concept of the loop. Okay, so you can use any loop, while loop, for loop, do while loop, anything. Okay, but here we are trying to understand with the help of for loop, so let me try it out using the for loop. So you will say I have to repeat this printf star how many times? 4 times. So you will say you will use a loop. Okay, and I'm using for loop. So I can use this for loop. Okay, for I equal to 0, I less than 4, and I plus plus, and then printf star. So how many times this will print this particular star? It will print 4 times. Okay, or you can use I equal to 1 to I less than equal to 4 also. That will also print this star 4 times, and we will get this output. Right? Now someone says that this 4 times stars you are printing. That is okay. Now you have to repeat this. What you have to repeat this? So now you have to print again star, 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 star. Right? Okay, and again you have to print star, star, star. Okay, so if you see, if this is computer screen, okay, or you can say a computer monitor. So earlier you were just printing this one particular row of the 4 stars. Now this particular 4 stars you have to repeat again. Okay, in this row also you have 4 star, in this row also you have 4 star. Okay, so how you will print this? Okay, so here we will use the concept of the nested for loop. How? See, you can say this is one for loop which is printing how many star? It is printing 4 star in one particular line. Okay, line or row. Okay, so this is line, line 1, or you can say line 0. It is up to you. Okay, or row 0 or row 1. Okay, line or row we can use interchangeably. So this is line 1. Okay, and this is line 2. Okay, and this is line 3. Okay, so this particular for loop is printing one line, okay, or one row of 4 star. Okay, so this particular is like one task. This is one task. So this task you have to repeat. The task of printing 4 star. Okay, this task you have to repeat how many times? 1 time, 2 time, 3 time. So your task is print a line of 4 stars, right? Print a line of 4 star. Okay, and you have to repeat this task how many times? 3 times. Okay, 3 times means for 3 lines you have to repeat this task, same task. Okay, so that means this is one task. Okay, and this task you have to repeat how many times? 4 times. So again, for repeating this task, okay, you have to use a loop. Okay, because only a loop can repeat a particular task. So you will use a loop. Okay, let's say for loop, it will start here, ends here, and this for loop, okay, this for loop will repeat this task, and this task or this statements, they are printing a line of 4 stars. Okay, so if I repeat this particular for loop, this for loop, which is called an inner for loop, if I repeat this 3 times, 3 times means for 3 lines, if I repeat this particular for loop, okay, with the help of this outer for loop, then my whole program will print 3 lines, and each line containing 4 stars. Okay, so this particular pattern will be printed. So here you see that while we are using the nested for loop, because again we have to repeat of some particular task. This one's also repeating something, this one repeating this thing, 1 2 3 4. Okay, for one row this was repeating the printing of star, but I want this repetition for each row. Okay, you can say for this row, this row, this row. Okay, one row should be repeated how many times? 3 times. Okay, so that's why I used another for loop. So this for loop is contained or nested inside this outer for loop. Okay, we'll see in the another video that what statement should I write here so that this program or this pattern can be printed. Okay, again it is not necessary that you have to use for loop only to print this pattern, like this star pattern. Okay, we can use, like here we can use for loop, and here we can use the while loop also. Okay, any thing is fine, but for loop is like readable. Okay, like everything is contained inside one single line. Okay, that's why we normally use for loop wherever there is a big program and we have to like write many things, but with the help of small lines or small number of code. Okay, that's why for loop is like preferable. Okay, we will try to use for loop for printing all the patterns. Okay, so these are the different patterns, okay, that we will understand in the upcoming videos with the help of nested for loop. So here you can see this is one pattern. Okay, this pattern is printing the stars. Okay, this is again printing the stars. Okay, but in first row one star, then two, then three, then four. Here again star are printed, but first spaces are there. Okay, then a star, then two spaces, two star, one space, three star, then no space, and four star. So how we can print this type of pattern on our computer screen with the help of a C program, we will try to understand. These are the different pattern. Okay, and instead of the star we can use the numbers, or we can use the alphabet also. Okay, so these are the some basic patterns, okay, that we can understand with the help of nested for loop. Okay, so just continue with my video and we will see in the another upcoming videos all these patterns. Okay, now before ending the video, let's understand the flow chart of the nested for loop. Basically flowchart has no relation with the programming language. Okay, that you have you very well know. Okay, so we saw this flowchart when we were understanding the flowchart for the while loop working, right? The same flowchart we can use for the nested for loop also. Okay, because it is not like that if we are making a program with the for loop, then we will make a different type of flowchart. For while loop there will be a different of flowchart. No, that is not the thing. Basically to understand the concept, or basically to understand program or anything, we will first make the flowchart, and flowchart is independent of the programming language. Okay, so this for loop while loop is like the programming thing. Okay, but the flowchart will remain same. Okay, so here you can see if this is the while loop, we saw that okay, this is the start, and before that, like we can have the initialization like init. Okay, I'm just writing init. Okay, so here you can see start, and then here you can see like some initialization statement can be there. Okay, then this condition. Okay, then some outer while statement. Okay, and then if this condition is true, okay, that's why we are coming here. Okay, then after this we are coming here. If this inner condition is true, we will execute this, right? And then we are coming to again to the here condition. Here we can write some updation also. So here we can write updation also, and then we are going here repeating. If this is false, we will come to outer while statement. Okay, and then we will go again to the this condition, right? And before this, okay, here I can do some updation. I can write some updation before going to the outer while loop again, right? And then if this is false, we will come here, right? The same thing we can do for this for loop also, because working wise this for loop also is same as while loop works. Okay, working wise also there is no difference, just the syntax wise there is a difference. Okay, so flowchart will be flowchart will remain same for the for loop and the while loop also. Okay, sometimes some people like try to make the flowchart like this. Okay, for loop, something like that. Okay, so for example, if I write for I equal to 0, okay, and I less than, let's say 4 I plus plus, okay, or let's say I less than equal to 4 I plus plus, or something, some statement. So people write for I equal to 0 to 4, okay, and write, and then they will write the some statement body of the for loop. Okay, and sometimes they make the like this way. Okay, that is also okay, but this is like general thing. Okay, this is like conceptually we should try to make using this flowchart only. Okay, otherwise it is up to you how you make. Okay, but this is like better. Okay. So I hope you have understood now the concept of the nested for loop. So in the upcoming videos we will try to understand how we can draw the different patterns, star pattern or different patterns with the help of the nested for loop. So see you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.